Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in on Focus on Bisbee. And Margaret, I really love that picture on the opening. It has that nice antique Bisbee look before I came on the TV. I'm here replacing Gary today, as you all can tell. And Gary, I know if you're watching, we're saying hi, good morning. And we're here with our first guest, bright and early. Thank you for coming all the way from Hereford.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Miss Ilona Smerekanich, the manager of the Bisbee Visitor Center. And we have tons of stuff to talk about. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's start out with marketing stuff at the Visitor Center. Tell us what's going on with marketing.
Okay, I just completed working with a travel writer who will be submitting a nice big article about Bisbee in the Phoenix magazine.
Wow.
So that will hit the whole metro area. And I might add that cost us nothing, just a lot of time.
Speaking of articles, I sent you an email last night when I got home. I don't know if you saw it, but yesterday there was an article in the Washington Post about Bisbee, and Michael, who works down outside of your office there, was a featured person in the article, along with Gloria's Gemstones and several others. I believe the man must have been here in about November when he did the article, because he said he ran into someone that was hanging up the AIDS event flyers. Do you remember? Was that in November when we did that?
I believe it
November?
was. I can tell you that I did not work with this travel writer. Although he did stay at the El Dorado Suites, he brought his wife and child with him and toured the town. I am signed up with the Washington Post, so anytime there's an article about Bisbee or Cochise County or Arizona, I get that information.
So you knew before I did then, probably.
I did.
Oh, well. Jim Dixon pointed it out to me. He was looking, I guess he gets a subscription of it, and he's sending an email out to everybody, and he says, look, this is great for tourism. And I said, ooh, yeah, go Ilona.
I've had probably about 20 or 30 emails from locals.
Wonderful.
About that article. It was what I would call a delightful article about Bisbee.
Very nice. And you can go online to thewashingtonpost.com, I believe, and pull it up. Just search for it, put the word Bisbee in there, and it'll bring it right up. So back to the Phoenix magazine.
Yes.
We want to bring people down from Phoenix to Bisbee.
You betcha.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we get people in from the Phoenix metro area who indicate that they've lived in the state for 18, 25 years and have never been to Bisbee.
Shame on them.
Yes.
Shame on them. They need to come right now.
So we roll out the red carpet
Yeah.
and encourage them to tell their friends in Phoenix to come on down too.
As you guys know, Ilona and I work together on tons of different things. And one thing that Ilona does by herself, which is an amazing task every month, is she sends me stats. She tells me what's going on, how many visitors. They have a little clicker in there. They also have a guest book. She counts everybody that comes into the visitor center. And not everybody that visits Bisbee does go to the visitor center, but you get a really good idea of what's going on.
Probably, according to AOT, Arizona Office of Tourism methodology, they come up with a figure of 20% of the people who visit any given town go to a visitor center.
Wow. And that's smart, because then you don't have to walk all around and say, oh, what did I miss? Or what should I have seen that I, didn't know about? Or, so go to visitor centers. It's an important stop prior to start walking, especially up and down all of our hills.
We're the first line.
Good. So you sent me the January stats for 2009, and one thing that I noticed and that we've talked about, but we want to share with the rest of the people, is in 2008 we were at 4,000 something. And so Ilona keeps these records. How many years have you been keeping these records?
Since 2005.
Wow. So anyhow, 2008 came out, and she goes, look at this. We are up 300 from last year this year. And, we're all going through this economic downturn right now. What a boom. What a good thing for us.
I plan a little intro when I send out those stats, and I expected that January would be flat. I use that term. Typically, the first 2 or 3 weeks in January are slow. It's after the holidays.
Paying off their
and
bills.
then,
yeah.
boom, it starts, and it did. People travel by nature. lots of Canadians. I don't know what their economy's like up there. We've had
good.
some international travel. I thought most of our travel would be regional, although we were exactly at 20% in-state as we were last year. So the rest of them were coming from Michigan, Minnesota, New York, and I think we were represented by about 45 states in the union.
Wow, that's wonderful. And the bottom of the stats, and people might get a little bit confused if they just started getting your stats and don't understand. Mr. Palkin, our city manager, it always says Ilona 5, Mr. Palkin 3, or vice versa. You know, there's always this little score thing at the bottom. What does that mean?
Oh, we have fun with that. Mr. Palkin was born and lived in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
And I was born in South Bend, Indiana.
Oh,
So
I think I'm getting this.
We kind of have this thing going of how many visitors come from each of the relative states.
Gotcha. Good. Well, keep that up. I like that. And I like seeing Ilona win. Sorry, Mr. Palkin. So some of the other things that you have going on down there, you have a new lady working with you. Who is she?
We do. She is Kathy Heiner. She is a member of the Bisbee Arts Commission.
Ooh.
So she has a little background in the arts movement in Bisbee. She started just this Monday. There's a lot to learn, but every day she tells me, you know, I think I'm really gonna like this.
And she seems so upbeat and perky when I go in there. She's just, you know, ready to grab people out of the hallway and bring them in. You know, she wants to tell everybody about Bisbee. So welcome aboard, Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad to have her.
Yes, so am I.
So is our community.
Yes.
You know? So, what's coming up with Cochise County? I know that you serve on the Cochise County Tourism, and that might not be the correct thing, board.
Cochise County Tourism Council.
Council, okay. What do they have going on? I know there's some big things coming up.
Okay, quickly I'll explain that the Cochise County Tourism Council is a county marketing effort of which 5 communities belong, including the unincorporated areas of the county. We have a marketing budget that is funded by each community according to population and the Arizona Office of Tourism team grant.
Wow.
So we decided, the members of the council decided that we would put on a workshop and educate those who will attend what exactly we do, what our efforts are. We're going to have a couple of speakers. Our PR person, Luann Matson, who just last year gave us over $1 million in free publicity and advertising for Cochise County.
Wow. So all of this money you said comes from the different communities. Does that come like from a tax, or how do they get that money?
I can only speak for Bisbee. Each community, according to population, gives an amount to the Cochise County Tourism Council. That is then matched by the team grant. In Bisbee, no tax dollars from our locals are used actually for the whole operation. The visitor center is all bed tax. Every
so the
penny.
visitors actually pay that tax. It's not the local people.
That's exactly right.
And then all of that money that they get at the Cochise County Tourism Council is used basically for advertising and education.
Marketing and advertising.
Marketing and advertising.
So we're having this workshop February the 20th. I'm pleased that you are coming.
I am excited. I look forward to learning what's going on.
Along with 2 other board members, February 20th.
Chamber board members, yeah.
11 to 1:30, 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's free, and we are providing lunch. And, excuse me, I'm pleased to announce that Rob Page, from the Grill Coffee Company in Santiago's and Hotel San Ramon will be providing transportation
Oh, wow.
with his Bisbee bus.
Wonderful.
Tom Mosier from Lavender Jeep Tours, and Doug Graham will be driving the Queen Mine Tour van.
Wonderful. Won't it be cool to see the bus up at the Benson campus sitting out there?
You betcha. I've invited
Be like
the
a
press.
like a giant billboard out there, you know? Good idea, Rob. Or
So-
Ilona, whoever thought of it. Yeah.
So anyway, we're really looking forward to it. I've sent out about 34 invites, and I have to say about 95% of the people responded. So to date, Bisbee has the biggest number of people who have signed up for the event.
That's great. So this is by invitation only, basically, because there's only so many seats there. And you want to focus on the people that are involved in tourism and that kind of thing, and finding out, you know, where our dollars are going, et cetera, of what you said that the conference was about. So when we get done with this conference, it would be great if Margaret and Gary ask us to come back on the show and to tell them what we learned at the conference or the workshop. So we look forward to trying that. Okay.
And I'm pleased to announce that Gary will be one of the attendees.
Gary's going.
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, then maybe I don't have to come back. Then Gary can do it with you. So that's great. So we've talked about stats. We've talked about some marketing efforts. We talked about the Phoenix Magazine. The Cochise County Tourism Council also does a lot of advertising in magazines and pamphlets and things. Tell us a little bit about their advertising efforts. Where do they go with their dollars?
Our big project for the year is producing the Land of Legends magazine.
And what is that? What is the Land of Legends magazine?
The Land of Legends magazine is what I call our official tourist guide, and we feature all of the 5 communities, events, attractions.
So it's like all Cochise County is covered.
All for
in-
Cochise County.
Wonderful.
We distribute over 100,000 of those during the
Wow.
year.
Wow.
We advertise in Canadian magazines, regional magazines.
Is there any way to track, like you said, we had Canadian visitors that came to Bisbee. Any way to track whether or not they learned about us? If there is, okay, tell us about
That's a
that.
good question.
Yeah, how does that work?
In 2 of the publications, one of which is AAA High Roads and Sunset Magazine, there's a little coupon or a little card that you can tear out of the magazine. And you circle, of course, a number 1 through 100 that features cities in that magazine to request information.
So you get the cards back then, and that tells you how they found out about you.
Exactly. So
Wow.
we can track our demographics, and hopefully they'll all come to Bisbee.
Very cool. Very cool. And I hope they do too.
Yes.
Because, you know, the Chamber's not the visitor center. A lot of people think that, because in a lot of communities, Chambers are a visitor center. We have our own visitor center. But when people come to our community and visit our community, fall in love with our community, then we want them to come back to the Chamber. We want to talk to them about opening small businesses. We want to talk to them about relocation packets. We want to keep those people here and grow our community. So that's why we work so well together.
You
all the
betcha.
time. And I enjoy it. Well, Ilona, the time has gone. I can't believe 15 minutes is up already. I love you dearly. Thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
And I'll see you later, and we'll get ready for our next guest.
Okay, thanks for having
Ilona.
me, Nancy.
My pleasure.